We're back at the Warframe Villa. It's night 1 of GB at Nite, live from SGF in LA. Very excited for the next panel. Thanks for hanging with us while we did something in the Tenno tub. I didn't watch. I don't know what happened. I got some friends with me, including Alanah Pearce.
Hi.
Alanah, how's it going?
Pretty good. Chilling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same.
I also don't understand what's happening outside.
Yeah, I don't even look at it.
Okay, great.
I just ignore it and pretend it's not there.
Terrifying.
Like with Wout Van Halderen. How's it going?
Good. Busy day as always when I'm here.
Oh,
no
yeah.
leaks today, hopefully.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'm just glad to have you. That's all that matters.
Awesome. Always happy to be here.
Whyatt Bushnell, how you doing?
Terrific.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a day.
You three seem like you might have been up to some no good. Mike Salyh, right? That's how you doing?
Doing good. A little bit more hinged, but they're doing the same.
Okay, well, I don't need more hinged. Let's go unhinged.
Well,
It's like
unhinged.
we're at that point of the night where it starts to happen. Yeah.
Developers at Summer Games Fest.
Billy Shibley, how you doing, dude?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Been a minute. Did we work together at one point?
Literally, I think at this point, 15 years ago.
That's nuts.
Jeff and I wrote for I think for free. I don't think we were getting
Got
paid.
$200 a month at one point once.
I don't think I was
times.
getting paid.
Yeah.
It was a website called combo.com with a K. And it was a video game blog. And it was just I'm just writing about video games for free because this is what I want to do, man. Oh, God. And
Yeah.
here you are still doing it.
I know, it's, oh boy.
Combo.com, bringing it back.
Combo.com.
Bought that too.
Do you think any of those posts are still live?
I think a couple of them are, because there was one I was interested in finding. It's on
Yeah.
some other site now. I guess they must have got acquired or something. I
yeah.
didn't follow it, but
Wild.
yeah, that was 15 years ago. I was writing for mostly for free, and God, I was with my now wife, then girlfriend, then. So because I remember her being like, "What are you doing? Writing about video games all day?"
I think I also started about 15 years ago, and maybe not quite that long, but was also writing for free.
Yeah.
I wonder if I also wrote something for combo.com.
It's
Maybe.
very possible.
It's like a lot of people.
We've all been there.
Yep.
God, I didn't know I
You
was
gotta
on
do
that
it.
list.
I was
Combo royalty.
I remember because I think I was still in college at that point. I remember writing, being in my college dorm and having whoever the editor was at the time teach me how to write a news article about video games.
I think I was at the Kroger distribution warehouse in Delaware, Ohio, working there and go home at night and write some blogs. And then eventually I worked at a Jimmy John's. And then a pizza place where I had to have the state of Ohio sue them because they paid me less than minimum wage, which they're legally not allowed to do. So and they ended up owing me $3,000.
Did you get the money?
I did.
Hell
I didn't
yeah.
do any work. The state of Ohio did all of it. It was the one time I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I've always felt like working in a
Ohio.
pizza place would be kind of fun.
It was fun. And then, it depends on the owner.
Then you were underpaid dramatically. Exploited.
Oh, yes. Thousands of dollars, yeah. But
Wow.
Delaware, Ohio?
yeah, listen, there's only so many names. All right, states start I guess we'll start naming after other states. Who knows? I don't know. Was there a Mr. Delaware that's the state of Delaware is named after? I have no idea. What the hell? What'd I bring you here for?
I'm here to learn.
Someone must know the answer to this. Why is it called Delaware?
Billy Alanah said we all wrote for free.
Yeah.
That was definitely something that was recommended against when I was doing it. Don't do that. I'm like, I'm not good enough yet. I need to
Same.
I need to get better. So I was like, it worked for me. Did it work for you too?
Tremendously well.
Yeah.
We're still here, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So to some degree it did. I think I also heard that same recommendation, and if somebody asked me for advice, I think I would probably say the same thing.
I also say the
Don't
same
do
thing.
it.
Yeah.
But I was so green at that point that I think just getting any experience under my belt and learning just the ropes of here's how to reach out to PR if you need a comment for a story, or here's how to get assets for something, that kind of
Write
baseline.
something under a deadline.
When I
it's
was literally
very
just
helpful.
in college, just wanting to do this, it was probably a good outlet for me, but
Learning how to get it edited, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
totally. But also get paid, people.
Yeah.
Please.
I have exact same thing where I was doing it for free for a while until I started getting paid, and my parents were like, "You're being exploited," and I was like, "Yeah, but."
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to be
And
I
that
know
was
that's
an
not
important
the way
lesson
to,
about
but-
the video game industry.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
there'll be more of
To a
that.
certain extent, every industry sort of has it, right? You have interns, you have unpaid
Yeah,
interns.
yeah.
Still,
Start somehow.
The crazy one, unpaid interns for college credit. So it's I don't know how that system is real sometimes.
Yeah, it's. I've never understood it either. I never did anything like that, so I never looked into it. But it always seemed very strange. I'm like, how do you? How do you eat?
They're paying. They're paying to work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right.
This is starting out with just a little bit of a weird tone.
This is it.
Gamers are loving this.
Marxism.
Yeah, let's go.
We said we're gonna get
I
there.
made a joke.
your
So
thoughts.
Billy and I are very good friends, and realized
Like
that
hang out as like friends.
very
in
good
a
friends.
way.
Realized that we were going to be on this at the same time, and I made a joke because recently we got made fun of at it was someone's karaoke birthday party, and Billy and I were in the corner having a conversation about Marxism.
Like karaoke.
What are you doing? Oh yeah.
Like, bro,
God, you're the
Our
coolest.
friend like made an Instagram post about it and was like, "Don't be like these
Yeah.
people."
I was like, maybe that's what we'll do
We have some
here.
important stuff to cover.
Yeah, we gotta figure some stuff
When are
out.
we gonna talk about it?
If we don't do it now, it's,
I'm not singing. You guys don't want to hear me sing. Trust me.
you just like start doing a speech about Marxism, and then you're really gonna get the crowd at that point.
You don't want to
must
hear.
be a song
You
out
don't
of
want to
that.
hear me do Dragula by Rob Zombie.
That's
trust
a
me.
lie. I do
Kinda
want to hear
do.
that real bad, actually.
And we brought a mic. No.
You're already mic'd up.
Yeah, bring in Rob Zombie. Duet.
I stopped drinking a few years ago just because like COVID happened and like I kind of only drank socially, so it was like not really a hard thing for me to stop
Sure.
doing. But the one thing that I completely lost was my ability to do karaoke. And now when I go to
totally.
karaoke, I'm like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. That's like one of the only times that I will drink, or is like at live music. Otherwise, I stand there and I go.
It's like,
It's just-
Like singing as a medium wouldn't exist without alcohol at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
actually, that's a good point.
All right, Wyatt, what do you want to talk about? Jeez.
What did I do?
You complained about our conversation.
I sold Caliber too.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't you like announce something today or something?
It announced a game.
Yeah, all right, tell us about it. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Plug.
Yeah, it's Escape Academy 2. It's the first open world escape room game, which is like my favorite misnomer of all time. But
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask
Honestly,
that.
great
Thank you.
question.
It's like kind of an oxymoron. It's like there's lots of rooms to get locked up in, but you get to choose which room you lock
Gotcha, I
yourself
see,
in.
I see,
Okay.
yeah.
But no, really, it's like a campus that you explore because it's Escape Academy, and you get to like go to classes, you get to like join clubs and talk to other students, and I think it just combines a lot of like fun open world puzzle elements with the more traditional escape room elements, and it works surprisingly well. We're really excited about it.
Cool.
I think one of the ways that you guys put it that I really like is the first Escape Academy was pretty much just a linear escape room game where you're playing through a series of different escape rooms, and it had the academic theming, but with this game, the like actual explorable campus really allows you to like kind of role play in that academic theme way more and like actually feel like you're a student. Like I love that, like at one point we talked about the idea of like you do an escape room and you finish it and then you come out into campus and it's the same feeling that you have when you like did a final exam and it was like really, really stressful and intense, and then you come out into the campus and you're like, whew, I can breathe a little bit. And there's like stuff to do around there. There's like cool puzzles and hidden things and a lot of like neat stuff tucked away, but it's like a very different pace than a like I'm crunching on this escape room right now and there's a timer ticking down, or like in the case of the demo that we have at Summer Game Fest, the ceiling is literally falling while you're trying to complete this room.
It's like I feel like the base game was like 95% escape, 5% academy, and this is like 50% escape, 50% academy.
Cool.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah, so I'm trying to picture it. Like, so am I going to be discovering things on like a meta level that I could piece together later, or is it just kind of stumbling across these rooms and now I'm like, okay, I'm marking that in my head. I want to come back to that room later. How does it work?
You're like, there are secrets hidden around campus. It's
Okay.
like you have to like basically like unlock your locker so that you can get your supplies to
Okay.
like
Yeah,
go
that
to your
makes
next
sense.
class. And so there are a lot of like puzzle quests that you basically go on. And like some hidden meta objectives, but and then also you're basically like opening up the rest of the campus to explore.
Right. I like that because I like playing with a friend or something or an audience, and I'm not super observant, but once I'm in the puzzle, I'm really good at that part of it. Like I'm really good, like it pieces together really quickly once I have all the pieces in front of me, but recognizing where all the pieces are is challenging for me. So it's like, this is something I can like work together with like an audience on or something like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just to talk about playing with a friend, like co-op was a big part of the first game, and we got a lot of like positive feedback from people who played with partners, like as couples or like friends or whatever, and that I think has been like a core tenet of the sequel is just making sure.
Play the first one not co-op?
Yeah.
You could.
You could?
And you can play this one not co-op too if you
I
want.
can't even imagine what that would be like.
But it's like such a bonding
With
thing
one
for
less
people.
person.
Wow!
that math doesn't check out. Yeah.
I have a specific. I think this was on the Steam reviews. We were literally in the Uber over here, and Blair, who's the producer writer on the game,
Shout out to Blair.
off camera, put this in a job description. He made a job description because the studio just hired a community person, and in the job description, one of the reviews he included was a Steam review where somebody said, this allowed me to mend my relationship with somebody after I cheated on them with their sister.
And Steam reviews are always true. Always true.
Oh yeah, no one's ever lied.
allowed to lie in a Steam
And I was
review.
like, wow, if you could bring it back from that.
I mean, put that on the box.
Yeah.
You really should.
It'll get you through
box
anything,
quote right there,
anything
yeah.
for the low price of $9.99.
That's a whole new audience.
Oh man, I love that game. I also played it with a partner, and it was very, very, very fun. Like I said, I can't even imagine playing it solo. It's very cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of like to develop it with like 2-player first and then kind of support
Yeah.
one
Makes
player
sense.
because like a real escape room is traditionally like way more of a group experience. But like it works surprisingly well single player. I feel like you just gotta talk to yourself a little bit.
Well,
like,
I did play the first one a little bit like solo, and it was streaming, and that was still like playing a co-op. But
True.
the most I played it was with Mike, and he was the one who was very observant, and I was the one who was like very keyed in on, okay, once you show me the puzzle, show it. I got it. Here we go. So that's
It
great.
sounds like you got carried.
Always. Yes. Every time. Yes.
You got
Hard
carried
carry.
through a puzzle.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, just show me where I'm going. Tell me what's going on here. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you got. Is the phrase like parallel co-op? There's a phrase you guys have used.
Body doubling, right? Yeah.
Well, it's like when you're doing an actual escape room. And these guys used to design actual escape rooms before making Escape
you're
Academy.
real nerds. Okay, I didn't know.
And that's the origin of the game, which is a cool story. But when you're doing an actual escape room, it's like someone is over here in a corner doing something, and then someone is over here in a corner looking at something else.
Puzzle solving.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of not necessarily always like traditionally what co-op is in video games. Oftentimes it's like you guys are you're working towards the same thing, or you're doing the same thing, or you're like someone has to stand on that pad and someone has to stand on that pad and it opens a door. Whereas like you can be separately you can be
Doing
together.
equally important things.
Yeah.
But separately working on different things. A group of us just did a real escape room at the Glendale Galleria. It was some of Alanah and I's friends.
Sick invite.
And, yeah,
That's what I was about to say.
sorry. And they were like, okay, guys, this is like the hardest room we have. Are you sure you don't want to do an easier one? And we were like, no, trust me. This was like a group of like really big like puzzle nerds.
Yeah.
And we crushed it. We crushed it, and they were like, "This is the fastest anyone has ever done that."
Oh,
round."
okay.
And I was like, "You say that to everybody."
Just crack the knuckles.
Everybody, just so you know, Billy's really cool.
We knew that. He worked at Combo.
I was waiting to see
combo.
what came next in that story.
I'm just talking about how awesome I am.
That's why I invited
He
you.
solved a really hard escape room.
They made a video game, but like whatever.
Are you good
cares
at
about
Escape
that?
Academy 2?
What?
Are you good at Escape Academy 2?
I finished the Summer Game Fest demo that we have.
Was he good at it though?
He finished it.
Yeah,
was he the fastest?
Not the fastest.
Not the
no.
fastest.
Man.
Yeah, we'll see who's
Blair
the
did
fastest.
watch me play through the demo for the first time.
Shout outs to Blair.
He should really be on the game.
Sub me out, coach.
So you guys are demoing it here. How's that gone?
So Playdays, yeah, we haven't started yet.
what I
Playday
meant
starts
is,
tomorrow.
how did it go getting set up for showing off the game? Yeah. That's why I like this question.
Oh my God, the past 3 weeks have been brutal.
Yeah,
super brutal.
Well, that could be true. I feel like you sound like you're sarcastic, but are you feeling
he can't help it.
No, totally genuine.
We've had Whyatt on
yeah,
before.
yeah.
He can't help himself.
I want to make sure because I feel like
His
setting
hair
up
wasn't this color.
No, I mean, like, when we showed the last game, it was like, done.
Right.
Goldmaster, like, this thing is going out. And so, like, all the trailer stuff is, like, done. All of, like, the materials and everything.
It's not those. I shot Dan in the face earlier. It doesn't matter.
Someone just got knocked out with a pipe.
But like the game's still in active development.
Right.
And so it's like cutting together the trailer. It's like look over here. This part's not done.
Wait, so how does that work with something that's like a little open world?
It's a lot
Demo.
of kind of stage magic where you're deciding like what parts will be the demo and what parts won't.
Yeah.
And like I think we got a good balance because there's like one main building in the game is where you start, and we're just gonna focus on the first hour of gameplay and really like polish up that experience.
Yeah.
And then like what comes next is getting to explore like other campuses and other areas of the school, and we're like that's just not in the demo because it's like still very gray box.
Yeah.
And so like getting ready for the demo was just a lot of like choosing like, all right, this is really cool, but like to get to it you would have to go through 3 areas, and like we don't have time to get those 3 areas ready. So like just there's a lot of curation, which is new to us because the first time, like Whyatt said, we had like a done game we were showing.
Yeah.
But what's cool about demoing like a game in development is like we're still like super actively like play testing this with our Discord community and stuff. And so like there's a ton of room for like feedback, and like if somebody has good ideas, they can actually get like more naturally into the game versus like in Summer Games Fest 1, we had like this issue where you press the hint button. There was no confirm. It just popped a hint and ruined your score. And I still remember Ash from The Verge was like, you can't do that to my score. And we did push a patch. It was the special patch. Sure, it was a great choice. But it was like the kind of thing where like the game's done. Like that's great feedback. It's too late.
Right,
How
so
frustrating
you
it is
get
to watch people play a game that you know all the answers to.
You gotta be evil. You gotta love it.
Because I
you
remember
gotta watch
watching
them
streamers
suffer.
play Case of the Golden Idol back when we launched it, and it's like,
Yeah.
You did Case of the Golden Idol?
Yeah.
well, no, I didn't make it, but yeah, we did it. Yeah.
Oh, were you PlayStack?
Yeah,
person?
yeah.
Oh, dude, cool. Oh my God.
Congratulations on the couch, everybody. There we go.
Good stuff.
This is
Connect the
genuine.
dots, yeah.
Wyatt and I have talked about Golden Idol so
It's like a
much.
miracle of a game, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you make it?
Incredible.
How do you make it?
Yeah.
Both of them. Like I've played through both of them. I haven't played the new DLC yet, but I'm gonna do that after Summer Game Fest. Like,
Yeah.
More common.
Yeah,
More common.
it's-
Wait, what are you talking about here?
About Case of the Golden. No, but like
No.
I watch streamers play our game, and you know the answers, right? And you see them like put the words in the wrong place, and you just want to scream at
That
the
would be
screen.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's the same experience when you watch people play the demo, and you kind of know what they're doing wrong, and you're like, yeah, maybe move that box a little bit, or are you still having a good time?
Well, it's a little. I think it's a little different. With like, I mean, Case of the Golden Idol is so like story focused, right?
And so much of the game is in your head. I guess with your game it is too. So yeah.
Well, but what's interesting with escape room puzzles is sometimes the way people are trying to solve it is kind of a better design than what we had intended. So being able to see somebody get frustrated, it's like they're actually right. Like we were wrong. Or sometimes the way they're trying to solve it, it's like, oh, that's a cool another puzzle that we could do.
So it's an inspiration. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I also think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say part of escape rooms has to be letting people fail, right? Like you have to just
Yeah.
let people fail because then they butt their heads against something.
But there are like
figure it out.
some fails that feel bad.
mean fails. I see.
Yeah. It's almost like there's certain puzzles where when I'm watching playtest and watching people play it, and they'll be struggling, but there's like different kinds of struggling. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, it's so unfair what I just did to them. I've sent them on some horrible tangent. They're doing like math. They're doing like fancy math, and I'm like, I would never do this to you. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, all right, I got to reclue this so they don't like go down that. And then there's sometimes where I'm like, they're struggling, but it's like kind of fun. Like they're still enjoying themselves, and I can get along with that. And also I feel like it's got to be a little bit evil and just
Yeah.
Right. Gotta
Well,
enjoy it
I
a
also
little
think you guys are probably at peace in terms of watching people. Oh God, I dropped this thing.
how
In terms of watching people play your game incorrectly, because you do a lot of play testing, and these guys actually did a GDC talk a couple years ago about their play test process, which was
curious
really
about this.
interesting.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, but
Get in there.
Yeah, I'll watch
It's
it.
online.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. You guys just go. Yeah.
you have access.
Yeah.
No, but we run like 4 playtest groups each week, roughly.
Oh, cool.
And it's like very qualitative. It's like they just come in to our Discord, they stream the game, and we say nothing, and we just watch them play.
Cool.
You kind of have to, right? Because that's what I was thinking about with Golden Idol and a lot of these games. It's like, once you make the game, you know everything. How do you possibly figure out like what is wrong and what's not working? It's only through playtesting, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like that's definitely something big thing for Mike. Mike could probably speak more to it.
No, I mean, it is definitely like, I think like the heart of escape room puzzle design, and I'm sure you see this on the Golden Idol, like you can't solve your own puzzles, you know the answer. And so you just kind of need a constant like stream of like fresh minds to like see what's working and what's not, and like we'll have like an idea of a puzzle. And if like the idea is fun, but it's like, oh, that was way too hard or too easy, you know, you can dial it up or down. And Jacob, who's our lead puzzle designer, is like so good at this. He'll come up with like a wild idea, and I'll be like, that's so fun, but like maybe no human will get it yet. And then we'll just like iterate, and eventually, you know, maybe the fourth or the fifth group that plays it, we're like, all right, there it is. Now we can lock it in. I don't know, was it like a similar process?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I also was on the other side where I had to play it, and the developers were watching me play it, and that's like probably even more stressful. Oh yeah, because you know that they're smarter than you. But it's interesting to hear like what that experience is as well. Well, good luck tomorrow when you have like everyone playing it.
Well, with Golden Idol, it's probably also a little different because in an escape room, the player is still active, right? Like you're poking around corners, you're looking at stuff again if you feel like you missed something, like you're interacting with the interactable things in the room. Golden Idol, I would just sit there and stare at my screen.
Oh yeah, it's great for streaming.
What felt like 30 minutes not doing anything. I would never stream it because I'm just sitting there going, oh, is that person the same?
And you're just waiting for those neurons to do something. Just do something
in your head.
Yeah.
It feels so good when you figure out the story of that game, when you're like, oh my god, that guy is this guy. And
Spoilers.
For Golden Idol 2, for Golden Idol 2, no spoilers, I will just say, one of the things I loved about the experience of playing that game was the story is wild, it's bananas, and throughout the course of it, I was really like, it really kept me on the edge of my seat in terms of like, are they gonna tie all this together? Like where is this story going? Yeah. And they really it felt like the team really like kept that up until the last minute, and then
with the proper amount of like connective tissue, like a little bit here and there, and then a little bit more, and it came together.
And then at the end, it came together, and I was like, oh my god, that was brilliant.
I have not played Curse of the Golden Idol 2, and now I'm like, I gotta play this fucking game.
It's so good. Like one of the best puzzle games I've ever played. I love those games.
So you guys were talking about the last 3 weeks have been hell. Is that
that's on message, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, people love hearing about your pain. That's gonna make me want to buy the game more. Don't worry about it. So is that like a distraction from the real work of like play testing and designing and all this stuff?
No.
Okay.
Because I mean, like it really. I mean, one thing that I did love is like seeing an early cut of the trailer. It was like, oh, that game looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like being able to see it through the eyes of the like.
It's got to feel like a milestone. Okay, yeah, that
it
makes
feels
sense.
like a milestone.
Did your publisher cut the trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
We sure did.
Interesting. Yeah. I was gonna say, Billy, did you cut the? But you know.
But it kind of like contextualizes what we're building because like you can get designer blinders.
Did you give them any input on what to make of the trailer?
We had a lot of trailer conversations.
Like I'm so interested in like what you're saying about like seeing someone else make a trailer out of a game that you made and being like, damn, that's sick. And I'm like,
that's the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah,
is
that's
that
awesome.
like that we are able to
like
take
someone
that and
gets
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
Totally. But it was very collaborative.
Yeah, no, it was super collaborative. I think it's very like you know, when you're in hell, when you're in the trenches, it's kind of hard to peek up.
Yeah.
And I think what this did is it kind of forced us to have to peek out of the trenches, which has been nice.
Yeah, and I think the other really cool thing too is like when we're getting ready to show it to the public, we kind of got to figure out how to talk about it. And like I think we all like know what it is because we're building it, but like being like, all right, what words are we going to use to talk about this? And be like, oh, that sounds really fun. Open world escape room game. Like we'd like thrown it around, but once that were like crystallized, we're like, oh, okay, like now we really get what we're building.
Like
realized that was the thing.
We legit had meetings where we were just throwing like, okay, what are the top 3 or 5 like bullet points on the Steam page? Like, and we were just throwing stuff out there and seeing what worked and like what fit. And like there was a moment where you guys were using the like term Metroidvania or like Metroidbrania, which is a thing to talk about it. And we were like, maybe that doesn't quite fit, but it was like a really interesting discussion to like get to what we felt like was the
Aiden
right.
O'Hara, who I think coined that term, by the way, the Metroidbrania. Yeah.
I just heard it recently,
Really
and I was like,
it,
I
so cute.
Aiden Mohair, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Fun Factor Pod, it's a great podcast. They talk about old video game magazines. It's fantastic. Go listen to that. But yeah.
Go listen to that. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Go listen to their podcast.
I introduced that term to them, and then they started using it, and I was like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't
you
have
created
done
a
that.
monster.
There's an aside, but how do you playtest physical escape rooms? Do you do
One
that?
more time.
Oh,
Actual
Good
escape
question.
rooms. And how does that work? Do you like set up cameras or do you do surveys?
No, you stand in the room with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Get really good.
Like
Get
a
really
creep?
good at creeping.
Like
Yeah.
a creep. I mean,
Okay.
the creepiest thing is when you're testing arcade games.
Because we used to do arcade machines.
Sure, okay.
And so it'd be like living there and like people would walk up and play them and you just have to be across the room like with binoculars just like looking at like kids and parents like play the game and it's like, oh, you guys like that. Interesting.
No, they bring this up all the time, but I think it's so cool that when they were playtesting Myst, because the designers like hadn't really made a video game before, they would play D&D. So they would make people, in order to play test, like without having, whatever that game looked like when it fucking came out a million years ago, that they would be like...
To JPEGs, yeah.
It was, right? It was like a slideshow. But they'd be like, so you get on this island and you see a boat, what do you do? And they would wait for people to give them as many answers as possible so they could like figure out the extent of the budget.
But that's the experience.
That's so cool.
Yes, that rules. I love
When
that.
you played Myst back then, that was the experience, right? Is that
Totally.
you feel like you could kind of do
and
anything
they
that you
basically,
thought
like,
was an option.
Unlimited
Extrapolated-
budget in our brains, right? We can
Yeah.
imagine so many ideas.
That's my
yeah.
favorite part about D&D.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
extrapolated whatever the like logical answers that people would eventually get to by doing it in a D&D setting. I just think that's so sick.
We got to wrap up here pretty soon. Alanah, wanted to ask, you doing a lot of projects. How do you feel about working in video games these days? How's like this side of the fence?
So I worked at AAA for 4 years, which I related to playtesting. Is like I was often playing through boss fights on God of War Ragnarok and streaming it to somebody. And man, that like the designer of that boss fight will be watching you while you're streaming it, and then they'll like quiz you afterwards, and they'll be like, I'm so sorry.
I failed to you.
They'd be like, there was like one question where someone was like, "Why did you ignore that?" And I'm like, "Oh God!" It's just so insecure. But wonderful place to work, and I'm now working indie on a game called Layers Deep with a team of 3 people. Very different things, also wonderful, but being able to like literally, I'll be like on Discord at 2 a.m. and be like, could we do this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, sick, let's do it. And that is very different to AAA, where everything is like very approved and several slideshows.
That sounds very familiar. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going from corporation to independent. It's very
Totally,
similar these
yeah.
days.
Well, I mean, how's it going for you?
That's going pretty good. SGF couldn't have happened at a worse time where we got to plan this. Well, it's like, do we have any idea about how we're going to pay ourselves? No. So, yeah, it's
Bucks a
Seems
month,
like
too.
it's going.
Like, you
Congratulations.
have someone to do that. Oh, wait. Nope, that's us.
Yes, exactly. Right, exactly. It's like everything has to get done by us. So it's like we're piecing together a business behind the scenes while this is happening. And it's happening very slowly, but you're right. It's going very well. We
Seems
do
like
get
it,
to
yeah.
do this. We're like, everyone coming out and helping to make this possible has been so nice. It's just,
Yeah.
the industry is relatively small. Like, there's a reason we see a lot of the same faces on the couch. It's because it's a tight-knit community. And so kind of people making it clear that they wanted us to still be here was
Yeah.
a very nice thing to hear.
Yeah,
so.
it's been very, very cool to see. I feel like the celebration you guys got was obviously well earned,
Thank
but
you.
definitely like very.
Yeah.
There was a lot of it. Everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, you guys."
Yeah.
Sorry, am I allowed to swear? I assume I am.
Oh, yeah, go
You're
to town.
independent now.
Yeah. Not as many slurs as you were saying earlier before you're on camera, but yeah.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone about that.
Well, we do have to wrap up, but wow, anything else you want to talk about? I didn't feel like I didn't
Well,
get
we
to
just
it.
announced Mortal Shell 2, like kind of a
Yes,
big deal
which looks
for us.
That was-
Yeah, it was.
Also, love Mortal Shell. It looks so rad.
I mean,
will
I
do it,
think
yeah.
there's a reason they picked it to open the show with. It looked awesome.
Yeah. It was a surprise at the opening. I was like, Jeff, you legend! Like in the game, like opening the show.
Was not expected.
Yeah, they get to make the game that they always want to make. Like Mortal Shell 1 was good, and it is gonna be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
It looks
looking forward to
amazing,
it.
yeah.
That's very
And I
cool.
were literally just talking about how rad that looked.
It is one of my favorite like non-FromSoft Souls-likes.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Shell was so sick. They really understood the assignment in terms of art direction
Oh, yeah.
on that first
It's
game,
amazing.
and you can
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
with the second game that trailer was so sick. Also Behemoth in the trailer,
Yeah.
big thumbs up on that. Like they get the whole vibe.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
You'll hear more soon.
All right, excellent. We got to get ourselves here at the Warframe Villa out to the Warframe Bungalow. So stay tuned here for GB at Night. We're going to be back with a couple more segments, 2 more segments. I can't keep count. 2 more segments, says Jan Ochoa. We'll be right back after this. Let's go to the Warframe Bungalow.
Toodaloo.
Woo!
Clear.